If you want to see how to make bedding and bunk beds for your dolls, keep watching because this video is all about how I made these bunk beds for my Bratz dolls. Plus, I will also be showing how I set up the staging and what my logic on all of it was. Hey Moody Bratz, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you're here to hang out with me. Today, I'm really excited to make this bedding for my Bratz doll. It's actually gonna be for the Bratz kids because the shelf I'm using is a little short for full-size Bratz. However, you can use the method I'm using with any little shelf that you have. We're gonna be measuring the shelf that we have, and that's how we're gonna calculate the pattern for the bedding. I got this shelf at Target in the value section. Honestly, I did get it some months ago, so I'm not sure that this particular one is still available. However, they are always coming out with different 2-tiered, 3-tiered shelves at Target in the value section. So that is a good place to look for something like this that you could use. Also, I bet you could probably thrift a little 2-tiered shelf if you went out and looked. So I believe I'm manifesting that you will find a little shelf to use for this. I also thrifted some of my fabric, and some of it I bought on clearance at Joann's because they have these little scraps that are like around a yard, sometimes less, and they'll mark them down and then they'll do clearance sales on the little remnant rolls. So that's where one of my fabrics came from. The set we're gonna make today actually it's 2 sets, but they're gonna be mix and matchable. The idea is that we'll use bits from each fabric to like switch them together so that it's cohesive, they go together, but it's not all like one color for each set. It's like a color with details. I will be using a sewing machine for this. I will also be using an iron because you're supposed to iron your fabric before you cut it, so we're gonna try to be good and do that. I will also be exercising my patience again today because I am not super familiar with my sewing machine. I am not an expert sewist by any means, but I am gay and I have the homosexual audacity. Just kidding, I'm not gay. I'm not straight either though. Anyways, I have the pansexual audacity to believe that I can accomplish any craft I put my mind to, so that's what we're gonna do today. So come with me and let's make this pattern. This is the shelf that we're working with. It is such a cute little shelf. It really just gives me bunk bed vibes, and I've thought that since I got it. What I'm gonna do is use this paper to make a pattern based on the size of the bed here. This is a nice big sheet of paper. It's an old desk calendar sheet. I like to save those and use them for this because it's, you know, it's a nice big sheet of paper and I'm all about reduce, reuse, recycle. I'm gonna take the measurements of the bed and then draw that on the paper, and then we'll figure out how many inches we wanna add to each side. Here I have a rectangle that is the same size as the base of the shelf. Now I'm gonna draw 2 extra centimeters on each side of this, and that is what I'm gonna use as the pattern for the comforter. If this is your first time seeing me, welcome, or if you're coming over from TikTok or Instagram, welcome. I have a bunch of fun crafting videos coming up on this page. Here is the comforter pattern that I've made. I tested it on here to make sure that I like the size, and I am happy with it. Now for the pillows. This is a pillow I have made previously, and these are Bratz pillows. I like having 2 square ones to go with the one, so I'm gonna use these to make patterns for the pillows. I'm pretty much just gonna trace them and use those as their patterns. I know we have long been awaiting these long videos, and they are gonna keep coming. New videos drop every Wednesday. Here are the pattern pieces that we made, and I was looking at this with the bed because I feel like this is gonna be a good size for the rug because I'm also making a fur rug to go with. So I think I'm gonna use this as the rug pattern, and we're gonna cut that out first. The rug is gonna be a little no-sew project, so if you don't have a sewing machine, you can still make this rug. First, I am going to put my fur with the wrong side up because we want to cut on the wrong side. We're gonna trim it so that we make sure that we have these nice edges with fur hanging over and it's not stark and cut like the edges of the fabric. I'm gonna flip this bad boy over. I'm gonna pin this to the fabric and then I'm gonna cut it out. The thing you wanna do when you're cutting faux fur is make sure that you're not cutting the hairs when you're cutting. You're gonna put your scissors between the grains of hair. You really wanna get it close to the fabric and make sure you're like going between the hairs because you don't wanna cut the hairs. You want to cut between them. Be patient, take your time. And it doesn't have to be perfect either because this is a rug. We want wanted to have these fur edges as well. I know I did not cut out this pattern perfect anyway, but I'm happy with it. This is gonna look really cute in the bedroom with the bunk beds. So now let's cut out the pieces for the bedding. We're gonna trace these pattern pieces on the wrong side of the fabric, and I am going to cut them out with about a centimeter seam allowance. We're literally just gonna like fold it in half and sew it. I will also do it with the pillows. After cutting out this comforter piece, I realized I should trace it, fold it, and then cut it, not cut it and then fold it, because this piece did ended up being a little close to the edge, but I fixed it on the purple comforter. I've been collecting Bratz as an adult since around November 2021. It is the best decision I made for myself. I have so much fun just staring at these beautiful ladies. They don't pay rent. All they do is stand there and look pretty, and I love it. I literally love it. I finished cutting out the pillows. You'll see I'm cutting out the sheet. I am doing a little bit of seam allowance. I think it's about a centimeter, and then I'm folding it over and pinning it, because since it's the sheet, I only need one side to look cool, so it's a smaller piece. Instead of pinning two pieces together like a sandwich, we're just folding over the edges and we're gonna hem the edges. What a clear explanation that is from a totally not amateur sewist. Just kidding, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out too. I did not press the black fabric to pin it down because, I don't know, it was kind of a stretch velvet fabric. I was worried about messing it up with the iron. However, this purple fabric, this was a bed sheet that I thrifted, so I did press the edges. I also ironed the purple sheet before I drew the pattern pieces on it, but I didn't iron the black velvet because I was just hesitant about the fabric. I used to play with Bratz when I was a kid though, so there is a big nostalgia factor with collecting Bratz for me. And also I just love miniatures and like making dioramas. I've always loved miniatures ever since I was a little kid, so anything mini just makes me excited. So collecting Bratz and making these little rooms for them combines both of my loves. I want you to be able to experience this excitement. So here we're gonna go on this journey together to make this bedding today. If you are also new to sewing and you don't really know how to use your sewing machine and you think it doesn't work, go to Joann's, bring the fabric you're sewing, and ask the lady who sat down at a sewing machine what type of needle you should use, because that could be what's causing your problem. That has caused me so many problems. Like, I tried sewing this black fabric so many times. I had to reshoot filming it so many times because I was using the wrong needle and the fabric kept getting bunched up. It turned out I needed a stretch needle, not a universal needle for this black fabric. Who would have known? Something else that could be causing you problems if your stitches are not going right is the tension. So look up a video on how to adjust the tension on your particular sewing machine model, because that can also make a big difference. Just a few beginner tips from one beginner to another. We've got this. We are smarter than the sewing machine and we can figure out how to use it. Also, make sure you're back stitching a couple stitches when you start and when you finish so that the stitches don't come unraveled. It's also helpful to test a piece of fabric first before you try to sew your pattern pieces, so you don't end up having to seam rip your pattern pieces because you didn't have the tension right or you weren't using the right needle. Use a test strip first so you can figure out all that drama and then just easily sew your project. You're gonna want to sew down like 3.5 sides or 3 sides of each little comforter piece or pillow, except for the sheet. You're gonna do all 4 sides of the sheet, but the other ones you have to be able to flip the thing right side out, so you're going to need to leave a hole to be able to do that. Also, you need that hole to be able to stuff the pillows. This is a good project for beginners too, because we're just sewing straight lines. There's no fancy curves to negotiate or making sure it fits a doll body right or anything like that. It also doesn't have to turn out perfect, because you're probably going to sit some dolls on top of it or some stuffed animals that are doll sized on top of it. So like, don't stress too much. It doesn't have to be perfect. Once you've sewn all of your pieces together, you're going to flip them inside out. I find it's easier to get them to flip inside out right if you cut diagonally in the corners. Also, trimming the fabric around the edges and cutting the side where the fabric is folded so there's less like bulky fabric around the seams. Be careful not to trim it too close. I'm gonna fill the pillows with polyfill, and then I will teach y'all the invisible stitch. Going across at the line where the pieces are coming together. So this is gonna blend right in with the other stitching. Going through like that. And then again. And same way on this side. Make sure you're not going through both layers. Make sure you're only going through one layer of the fabric. And you're not catching your string when you pull it through. You don't have to worry about doing it super tight at this stage because we're going to pull it tight at the end. Try to keep the stitches together, closer together if you can. But, I mean, I really don't feel like this needs to be perfect. Just this project in general. Like, it's for a kid's room. Like, I'm chilling. Gonna do this on just closing all of the pieces of the bed set. It's really easy once you get the hang of it. You can already see like how good it's looking. I'm gonna finish this one. I'm gonna sew the rest of them, and then we are gonna have 2 bedding sets, and we're gonna get to put them on the bunk beds. Yay! I wanted to use my sewing machine to finish sewing these pillows, but I cannot be bothered, so I'm just gonna hand stitch it. I'm gonna do 2 lines across here so it looks like it's like a pillowcase on the pillow. Here's how they turned out. They look so cute. I'm actually obsessed. But I think that it does look a little flat, so I'm gonna cut out some foam and make some little mattresses. I'm gonna be using this foam that is from the packaging of something at an old job I used to work, and I just saved it because I thought it would come in handy for something for the Bratz eventually. I have the pattern piece that we made earlier, and since we know that the inner square is the size of the bottom of the bed, I'm just gonna fold it over, and then I'm gonna trace this onto the foam and cut out 2 pieces, one for each side of the bunk bed. Be careful and take your time when you do this. This footage is sped up, and you can see I had to do a little bit of surgery to fill in the gap on the one that I couldn't get the whole thing out of the foam, and I had to trim the edges just to get that perfect fit at the end. This is the room that the bunk beds are gonna go in, and we are gonna do a full-blown room makeover setup right now. Obviously, I need to clear all the stuff out of here first, so we will do that, wipe down the room, and then we're gonna set everything up in here. I have this really cute nightstand that I can't wait to style in here. I will be doing a video on these babies, cleaning them up, so stay tuned for that. They are so cute. I'm gonna do like a whole nursery, oh my god. But for now, we're working on a room for the kids, because wait till you see how perfect they look on these bunk beds. This shelf was the perfect size for them. And there you see the phone. I'm putting the lip phone from the Moody Bratz in the room. Also, the ceiling, it's too empty, so we're gonna use some little things from here and there. This is a collection of different stickers and pieces of the promo booklets like you saw me cut up. This is the collage that's going to go on the ceiling. I arranged it on the table first because it was just easier to work out the color balance on the table. So now we're going to put it up into the room. This collage is so fun because it adds so much personality and little details to the room. You know, I love the details. Like these little heart-shaped and peace sign and smiley face shaped mirrors. I found these at a thrift store and they are so perfect for a little doll bedroom. The little notebook, sketchbook, and comic are crafts from my Froggy stuff. The Little Bratz World magazine is a vintage Bratz item. The room looks so cute. Now I am adding the Bratz kids. Oh my gosh, whose bracelet just randomly fell off. Okay, no worries. Lean her against the chair because she does not want to stand on the rug. We're gonna move this bracelet that fell off of her up here for some clutter. Now I'm gonna add some snacks for them. Let's give her some lollipops on the bed. That's cute. Sticky tack coming in. I feel like they're calling boys or something. Here's how it turned out. It looks so cute. I'm obsessed. It's giving the girls went to Sonic for half off shakes after school and now they're hanging out. They have homework to do, but they're gonna have fun and hang out first. The mini brands look so good. Oh my gosh. The Foodie mini brands, Sonic drinks, they're the perfect size. The candy, it is so adorable. And also, those are Squishvilles. They're the smallest size of Squishmallows, and they work perfectly for the Bratz. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications bell so you always get to see the new videos when they drop. Next week, I'll be showing you how to make a greenhouse for your dolls. But if you can't wait until then, I post almost daily on TikTok and daily on my Instagram stories. The name is the same on the other platforms as well, TheMoodyBratz. And that's also listed below. New videos drop here every Wednesday, but if you want videos to drop more frequently, you can donate at the link below to support the show. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one!